Miss Evelyn Harper never imagined her first week as a math teacher at Crestview High would feel like walking into a war zone. The hallways weren't just chaotic, they were ruled by a trio of senior boys who thought they owned every inch of the school. They mocked the weak, shoved the quiet, and preyed on anyone who looked like they wouldn't fight back. Evelyn, with her slim build, soft voice, and unassuming cardigans, looked to them like the perfect target. From the moment she stepped into the school, whispers about her spread like wildfire. Fresh meat. Easy pickings. Won't last a month. But what none of them knew was that Evelyn wasn't just a teacher. Beneath her calm smile and gentle demeanor lay years of disciplined training, years spent mastering judo under one of the toughest coaches in Tokyo. She had the belts, the trophies, and the scars to prove it, but she had long learned that true strength isn't shown in competitions. It's shown when it matters. She wasn't here to fight. She was here to teach. Yet, trouble wasn't far. It started small, snide remarks in the hallways, accidental spills on her paperwork, laughter trailing behind her like smoke. Then it escalated. One afternoon, while she was collecting her textbooks from her locker, the three main bullies, Chase, Derek, and Logan, cornered her. Chase slammed the locker shut with a loud clang that echoed through the silent hallway. "What's the matter, Miss Harper? Math too hard for you too?" Derek chuckled as Logan blocked her path. Evelyn remained composed. "Please step aside." But they didn't. Chase gave her a rough shove against the lockers, expecting her to crumple like paper. Instead, Evelyn's eyes shifted, calm, calculating. She steadied herself without flinching, but said nothing. Rumors about this incident rippled through the school faster than wildfire. Students whispered about how the new teacher just took it. Some mocked her weakness, others pitied her. None knew she was waiting. Waiting for them to cross a line they couldn't uncross. In her classroom, she commanded attention through sheer patience, kindness, and intellect. Slowly, she noticed the tides turning. Some students, especially the quiet ones who had been frequent victims of those bullies, began respecting her, standing a little straighter when she walked by. But the bullies saw this as a challenge. They needed to break her spirit publicly. That's when they planned their next move. Friday afternoon. An empty hallway. Security conveniently looking the other way. Evelyn at her locker once more. This time, they didn't just shove. They surrounded her, taunted her, laughed louder. Chase reached out, grabbed her arm. "You think you're better than us, huh? Little Miss Perfect." For the first time, Evelyn spoke with a quiet force that made them hesitate. "Don't touch me again." But Chase only laughed and shoved her harder. That was it. In a flash that none of them saw coming, Evelyn moved. Years of disciplined training snapped into action. One swift motion, Chase was on the ground, breath knocked out of him. Derek lunged. He flew over her shoulder in a perfect throw, landing with a painful thud that echoed. Logan froze too late. A precise twist, a sweep of her foot, down he went, gasping for air. Silence blanketed the hall. Three boys lay sprawled across the polished floors, groaning in disbelief. Evelyn straightened her glasses, calmly adjusted her cardigan, and stepped over them. "Class dismissed," she said, walking away without looking back. Cameras caught it. Phones recorded it. By Monday, Evelyn Harper wasn't just the math teacher anymore. She was a legend. Students whispered about her black belt, her calm power, her unshakable dignity. Even the bullies avoided her now, faces burning with shame every time she passed. Principal Walker called her in, not to scold, but to thank. "You taught them something none of us could," he said. Evelyn smiled faintly. Math isn't the only thing they need to learn. Viewers, if you're enjoying this story of quiet strength and justice served cold, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned, because Chapter 2 will show you what happens when respect turns into admiration, and bullies learn their most important lesson yet. Chapter 2, From Bullies to Believers, The Power of Respect, 5,000 words, plain paragraph. The Monday after the incident, Crestview High wasn't the same. Word spread like wildfire. Students who had once sneered now offered respectful nods in the hall. Those who had been bullied approached Evelyn with a newfound sense of safety. They asked questions, not just about math, but about standing tall, about confidence, about how someone so small could be so powerful. Evelyn didn't boast. She didn't tell them about the national competitions she had won or the dojo where her name was still spoken with respect. She simply told them the truth: strength isn't about fighting. It's about knowing you don't need to. But the transformation didn't end there. Something remarkable began happening. The very bullies who had shoved her into lockers now sat in the front row of her class. Chase, Derek, and Logan, once the kings of mockery, became silent, attentive students. It wasn't fear. Not anymore. It was curiosity. It was respect. It was the slow, humbling realization that Evelyn Harper had taught them a lesson they couldn't learn from fists or threats. Principal Walker, observing this change, called for a special assembly. Not to expose, but to inspire. Evelyn stood on stage, the same woman who weeks ago had been laughed at behind her back. She told her story, not of the fight, but of patience, resilience, and why we must never mistake kindness for weakness. The gymnasium hung on her every word. Even the teachers sat straighter. Even the bullies listened like disciples. You are not defined by what people call you. You're defined by how you choose to respond. Those words stuck. Over the following weeks, Evelyn noticed something beautiful. The quieter students walked with more confidence. Bullies offered hesitant apologies, then genuine ones. Logan signed up for the school's judo club. Chase started tutoring freshmen in math. Derek joined student council, determined to make amends. They weren't perfect. But they were trying. And Evelyn, watching from her desk with a knowing smile, understood something powerful: change begins not with punishment, but with example. One afternoon, Logan stayed behind after class. "Miss Harper, do you think people like us can change? For real?" Evelyn looked at him, not as the bully he had been, but as the young man he was becoming. "Absolutely. Every day is a chance to be better than yesterday." That moment wasn't caught on camera. It wasn't shared on social media. But it mattered more than any viral video. And so, the legend of the young math teacher who sent bullies flying became something deeper, a story not of revenge, but of redemption. A story of quiet strength, lasting respect, and the power of second chances. Viewers, if this story touched you, if it reminded you that strength comes in many forms, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We bring you stories of courage, kindness, and change every week. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a tale that could inspire you or someone you know. Remember, respect is earned. Courage is silent. And true power often hides in plain sight.